All right, so today we are here at 540 Fawn Run in Alpharetta, Georgia. Just doing basically a reiteration of how our meeting went with Seek Now today. It was a very broad, very short meeting. And the guy basically didn't agree with anything. And I'm going to show you guys in the video what I'm talking about because it makes no sense. I'm assuming he documented that. I'd hope he did. The collateral damages to the window screens on the side from where the storm hit. Right, so let's climb up here first and see what's going on. So, all right, off the bat, right, we have some collateral damage here on the metals, which I don't think was documented by the Seek Now report. Let's just reiterate and chalk that because he clearly didn't chalk it. You can see, based on the chalk, there's clear abbreviations, no sharp indentations whatsoever, just clean dents, right? And then we move on to where he marked his metals, right? Again, let's go side by side, no sharp abbreviations, just clear dents. I'm not sure where he was saying there were any type of abnormalities with this. We're going straight down to the angle of where the hail was impacted. So the storm came from that side, right? And then we look at more collateral right here, right? And you can see from a distance there's some dots over there as well. Yep. But let's go ahead and move on to the good stuff on the roof. Here's why I think adjusters should start making it a priority to actually come out to their policyholders' properties, because I have a lot of questions personally that I have raised after my meeting with a Seek Now representative, which again is a third-party ladder assist. I'm gonna go ahead and move this ladder. Bear with me here. Oh, move it up. I'm gonna gently put it back into place. All right. This is gonna be like a 7-minute video, but you know, whatever. Let's go ahead and conduct this inspection just like we would. So right off the bat, you know, I did mark some damages that I thought were damages for him, but after I caught his vibe, I just let it be. But we can go ahead and assess the parts where he did his 10 by 10. So clearly here we see there's hail, another hail hit right here, another hail hit right here. The shingle was previously pulling for an ITEL report, but you know, just for clarification, I'll mark this just to prove something to the adjuster here. All right, take this hail hit right here, right? OT. I'm responsible for the damage to the shingle, using a switchblade to pry open this shingle real quick, just because I want to prove a point to you guys that, you know, he was saying he doesn't see anything up here. It's awfully strange. Every other neighbor has had no problem getting the roof approved in this neighborhood, but for whatever reason, Nationwide is telling this one along. So let's go ahead and pull this shingle up. You see that abrasion back there? I know I'm not the only one seeing it. Right there, there's an abrasion. You can see that this is a clear abrasion, but it was not marked by the Seek Now adjuster. I don't know for what reason, but let's move forward. He said the hail was not consistently marked everywhere. These are my marks, by the way, right? This is the north-facing slope. There's not gonna be much damage on that. What I find odd, though, is that he did his 10 by 10 right there. He only marked 2 spots. He took close-up photos of those, which is fine, but I'm gonna show you how this is a widespread event. Hip and ridge. Another soft to the touch of the shingle, right? hip and ridge. I'm not going to pull this up to show that there's an abrasion, but you guys get the point here. So we're going to move along, make it up to further up the roof, right? So this is what he resembled. So on this slope, and this is the only slope he did this on, he wrote wind 0, which there's no wind, this is an architectural shingle, but hail 0 as well, and then marked it out. Why did he do that? Because my stimulation is that he didn't want to look. So right here on the north slope, you can see a clear indent into the shingle. You can see that these are pried in there. If we lift this shingle up, what do we see? We see a clear abrasion through the matting. But whatever. You know, on the north slope, you know, there's good luck finding much in the Georgia zip code. But this is where he did his 10 by 10 on the back. He claims that there's nothing there, but I'm gonna have to go get the Rich Pro and show you guys, right? But let's move on to the front and to the two sides. So right now, this is where I have my Rich Pro set up, okay? He did not mark that slope. He did not mark that other slope either. But I'll show you something interesting about that, because he did not mark anything there. He did not mark anything there. He said there's nothing there. So now I'm gonna have to go climb over there. But let's see where he did his right slope at. These are clearly his markings. RSW, wind equals 0, hail is blank. So why is it that he crossed out hail right there, but left hail blank right here? To me, this seems like somebody that does not care about their job. To be quite honest with you, and with the amount of premiums that the homeowner is paying for to ignore clear abrasions. And again, and these are on the teeth, guys. These are not in the soft matting. There's really not much going on in the soft matting right here, except for clear blistering, but you can see that straight striation, right? Look at this one. What is that? He didn't even mark it. He didn't mark this. Okay. And just for stipulation, I'm gonna find someone right here, right in the middle. I'm gonna use that same switchblade. I'm gonna write OT, right there. Just so there's no discrepancies of any sort. You can see clearly, right? Sun exposure, pretty defined abnormality. Use the switchblade and gently lift up. You guys can also use this as an OT repair, right? Just gently lifting the shingle up. Right here is where the abrasion took place. Let's lift the shingle up and look underneath it. What do we see? Yet again, a clear abrasion. You see that right there? That is an abrasion. Right there. The matting is clearly bruised. This is not a blister. And if you touch it, it's soft to the touch. So look, I'm gonna apply pressure from the top and you will see where it's coming from. You see that? That is an abrasion. The matting is completely bruised. But whatever, he didn't mark it for whatever reason. But since we're conveniently placed at the front, yet another sign of negligence. Why is it that on the left he marked hail equals 0, but on this one he left it out? There's no wind on this roof. No one's contemplating that, okay? There's nothing here to prove, but clearly we see hits and deflections sporadically scattered throughout the roof. You know? So that right there would be considered blistering. You can see the blister and the heat caused this to pop out. However, this right here is a clear indented and embedded granule. So let's do this again for the video. All right, let's peel it up. This is the front facing slope, by the way. So I'm gonna gently wedge my knife right here, and I'm gonna gently pry this open. If the shingle is truly repairable, like a lot of these insurance carriers claim it is, this should have no problem adhesing back into its O and P shape. Okay, let's kneel down here. So you see the abrasion right here. Let's lift up the shingle. What do we see right there? What do we see? Oh, that looks like yet another abrasion. That is clearly bruised matting. But yet we want to claim that this is not hail. Why was this not marked? I don't understand, but this is where it gets really interesting. So for this slope right here, no hail was marked. Okay, whatever. He didn't even climb this slope. I'm not sure why he didn't, but let's go ahead and look at the slope together. So that way we can all be on the same page. I'm gonna go ahead. Well, actually, since the Rich Pro's here, right, let's do this. Let's climb it together. Make sure that's adjusted to the right height. Perfect. So now we're here. He claims that this slope had no consistencies with that slope. All right, except for when you get right in front of it and you look at it, that is an hail abrasion. So I'm gonna hold my phone, hopefully get my knife, and do the same exact thing. And this is the garage right, which he does not even have documented in his report.